leader in sports. It's
KNNL
Pro
in Albuquerque is the sports animal. Proud to be a Cumulus media station.
Even if they're not that proud of us.
Now, it's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running, it's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Well, there you go. Dak Prescott. That's your dude. All it took was a little charger, wasn't it? All it took was a little trip back to SoFi, down the road from where you started all in Oxnard every season. Take an hour and a half south of there. And go to SoFi and get the Chargers on Monday night. Dak Prescott looked nice last night, huh? That was the guy that you were hoping, expecting, keep telling me. Good decisions, ran the ball, didn't turn it over. That defense that shut down that vaunted Justin Herbert, who at some point, can we have a conversation about him too? 20-17, Chargers get what they call a must-win in Los Angeles to beat the San Diego Chargers, who play in Los Angeles. 20-17 on Monday Night Football. What is up? Merry Tuesday, Charger fan. How you feeling? Cowboy fan, how you living? Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. What's good?
We can absolutely have a conversation about Justin Herbert and his wooden hand that he was trying to play with.
How about that thing? It looked like that finger was just flopping, didn't it?
Yeah, it was just like he can't hold the football.
Well, it's a left hand. It's his other hand, but yeah.
He can't hold the football.
Yeah, not with that hand.
It was affecting like his snaps all night long. So we can have a legit conversation, hand or not hand, with Justin Herbert. But the Dallas Cowboys, it's just, you watch it and it's like, they are who we thought they were. This is the best version of Dak Prescott.
That was.
He's making plays, confident downfield, getting in that pocket, a zone read touchdown on 4th and 1.
Terrific.
In the red zone. Looked good beating CeeDee Lamb. And defensively, they stopped the run. It was a tight game because however you feel about Justin Herbert, he can still make plays downfield. But the impactful plays were made by the Cowboy stars.
I feel really good about Justin. I like Justin Herbert. But at some point, doesn't he have to start winning at a level that,
Yes, he does.
we hold everybody else accountable to?
And he's not winning at that level. He never will.
Because of Brandon Staley?
Because he plays for the Chargers.
Because he plays for the Chargers. And that very well may be true. That very well may be true. We hold every other quarterback, and this is, look, I'm not looking to hate on Justin Herbert. There's everything about him you like. He's tough. The last year he played through the rib injury. He makes the throws. He puts up numbers. He seems like he does it the right way. Seems like his team loves him and will go to the wall for him. They're 2-3. Their 2 wins were because the other teams chargered it worse than they did. And what do you think of their 2 wins? They won in Minnesota when the Vikings completely, a 1-win, or are they now a 2-win Vikings team, completely botched the last 30 seconds at the 2-yard line. Completely botched it, ran into a rush play and threw a tipped ball interception. And then they beat the Raiders, who were down to the 3-yard line knocking on the door with a rookie quarterback that got all the way downfield on him. And instead of giving the ball to the defending rushing champion with their rookie quarterback, decided to throw a wide out and it got picked off. Those are their 2 wins, dude. So would those 2 have gone to overtime if the other team scores? Yeah, most likely. So they win one of the 2 odds. I mean,
the odds haven't been good because that is their 6th loss
by 1 possession.
I just lost what I was reading.
What are you going to tell me?
I apologize.
No, that's all right.
Apologies.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just know they lose a lot of close games. And Brandon Staley.
So here it is. Their 6th loss by 3 points or less in the last 2 years.
Okay. They lose. Like I like him. But we beat up on Dak because they don't win, right?
Yep.
We beat up on quarterbacks, and I'm not looking to beat up on this guy. But I mean, I say we as football fans.
He's given a longer
leash
to win, where I think it's a bad culture anyway, where we are so done with half the league every other week. But you're right. It's Justin Herbert. It just feels like it's everyone else but him.
Well,
And at some point, it is you two.
okay, and now you brought in Kellen Moore, right? I thought Kellen Moore called a fine game yesterday. On fourth down, they were 1 for 2. So it's not like it was all about going forward on fourth down. And he had the ball at the end of the game, right, with a drive at the end of the game. DC's watching because he watched the baseball. He's just now, you're just rewatching the game?
I'm busted on that totally.
That's all right. No, the baseball was really good.
Fantastic.
I mean, I know we're not allowed to talk about baseball, but it was really good.
I mean, how can you not?
Then
talk
we
about
will
it?
talk
It was
about baseball.
fantastic.
But yeah, no, he had the ball at the end, right? He had the ball in his hand with a chance to drive down the field and
And the big play was made by Michael Parsons.
yeah. All right, we're here for you today. Cowboy fan, how you living? 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. Emails will come in this morning, as they always do. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, if you want to call it X, that works too. It's _ JJ Buck. And you can watch us on the Facebook, the OD and the AM. We're on Comcast Channel 26. We are, where else are we? On YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Adrian's producing for you there. All right, so was this game more about the Cowboys or about the Chargers last night? I'll tell you it was more about the Cowboys. I thought the Cowboys played well. I thought it was a great defensive bounce back from getting run out of the build at San Francisco. I thought offensively what they did was enough. It wasn't spectacular. I don't think Chargers defense is great to only put 20 points up, but it was enough to win. But I thought this was about the Chargers. I thought it was, the Cowboys. It was a big win.
I agree with you. This was a game that there's a special teams mistake by Dallas, which led to what was the game-tying touchdown at 17, but they were in control. And to me, it starts with Dak Prescott. Defensively, Dallas played to a level that this defense can, stopping the run, getting that late turnover. And Mike McCarthy, hats off, man. He called a really good game.
Yep. And defensively, like the pressure they put on. All right, for the Chargers, look, missing Mike Williams, they had a touchdown call back, which I know because Joshua Palmer was on my fantasy team. Damn it, dude! Do you know how many? Okay, and it was a snap, one step, throw to the left. Did you see the touchdown that Josh Palmer had called back on the first drive? I'm like, there's no way, until they showed me the replay, that a guy can be illegally downfield that quick. It was green 18, go, snap, got ball, turn and throw, right? I mean, it was hike, grab, turn, throw. I'm like, there's no way the dude could have been downfield. Well, he was 3 yards downfield. Left guard just took off downfield. Cost me big. I needed that Joshua Palmer badly, but they hurt themselves. I don't know, man. They get Eckler back, who looked fine. Missing Mike Williams. Keenan Allen to me is terrific. What is it about them that they can't get over the hump? Is it just because they're cursed and they're the Chargers? And
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be they need an episode of Peyton Places to come in and figure out, can you reverse the curse? Because if you're, I don't know if you can. If you're stuck in LA, you have no fans, you're not going back to San Diego. Every game you play is on the road. Every game the Chargers play is a road game. Whether they're actually on the road or they're playing at home. I don't know what to do for the LA Chargers. I reference Peyton Places, by the way, is they had fun last year in Detroit and pretended to break a curse. And looky here, how about them Lions?
Could be the best team in the NFC. I said that. Yeah, I did. I didn't say they are. I said they could be. They did. Well, come on now. Who's their win-loss? They went to Kansas City and won. Can we give them credit for that?
Of course.
All right. They just went to Tampa Bay. Well, Jeff, Tampa Bay. And won. Their one loss was to the
Better
Seahawks.
than your boy Brock Purdy.
That's right. Well, are they? What are you saying? Are they better than the 49ers?
I would still take San Francisco.
Yeah, just because San Francisco lost one game.
Bigger picture.
Yeah, I think so, but they might be. I mean,
to me, they've clearly established themselves as the team to talk about after Philadelphia and San Francisco.
Here's the other thing. So after the first 2 weeks where they beat the Chiefs on the road and lost to the Seahawks, they haven't had a one-possession game. They beat the Falcons by 14. They beat the Packers by 14. They beat the Panthers by 18. And they beat the Buccaneers by 14. In a league where if you see a 7-point spread, you jump on the dog, right? Right? I mean, in the league where one-possession games seem to be the norm, they're going out and doing things. Now, let's see what they do at Baltimore this week against the Ravens. Then they get, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers, the Saints, the Bears, the Broncos. You look at what they got in front of them. Tell you what, man. If you want a long shot for who's going to have the best record in the NFC, they're pretty stinking good now. They're pretty stinking good. And by the way, their defense is better than you think. Why? Because they held Baker Mayfield down? No. Not because of that. They're impressive. They're impressive. All right, lots to do today. We're going to go through the baseball. We're going to go. You've got correspondence that's coming in. We got a lot of NFL stuff. When we come back, 2 quarterbacks that might not be available, maybe 3, maybe 4 in the NFL as we go into week number 7. Check your fantasy rosters because, I'll update you on everything we can update you on because there's a whole lot of quarterbacks that are iffy at best as we go into this. So let's get through that. And then we're going to get into the baseball because, DC, the baseball's fun. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Susie Schuster and Amy Trask present.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
All right, injuries. You got injuries and buys this week. Injuries and buys. What did you tell me? 6 teams are on bye?
6 teams.
Who's on a bye this week?
Cincinnati.
Joe Mixon.
Dallas.
Ooh, everybody. I need a tight end.
Tennessee.
Ooh, okay, nobody.
Derrick Henry. Nuke Hopkins. Probably in their lineup. The New York Jets.
Defense.
Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson.
Defense.
Carolina Panthers. The stud, standout game changer, Adam Thielen.
Dude, he's brilliant.
And all of a sudden, Chuba Hubbard. And the Houston Texans.
Bryce. All right, I'm sorry, CJ. All right, so then you got injuries. Dude, this is waiver wire. I'm in a league, and I hate this about this league. It's one thing where they limit you to 3 transactions per week. And you got to go through the commissioner, and it's one of these old school. And so you hit a week like this where you got injuries and buys, and you're hosed. Like you're literally right. All right, so let me start you off. The kind of one of the big injury news, and this isn't going to affect you this week, but how much you bind into the Aaron Rodgers could be back by week 15 thing?
Kind of hard to deny it when the dude's walking around everywhere.
Walking around, throwing passes, moving. He's around. Like, they're talking he might be back by week 15. I don't know where they're going to be at week 15. I don't know. I mean, you throw a guy out there week 15 that can't move well enough.
What did they invent to make this possible?
Aaron Rodgers.
He had a new type of surgery on the Achilles. I did not stay at Holiday Inn Express last night, so I have no idea.
Okay.
But this is... We've never seen this. This is, you've torn your Achilles. We'll see you next year, maybe.
So remember when Adrian Peterson, the running back, I think then with the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken, I remember when he came back from the torn ACL in like 6 months.
Yeah, they've pushed those.
Okay, but then all of a sudden that became, oh well, if he could do it, and it's still 9 months, right? But he came back in crazy record time from the ACL. It kind of feels like this. And again, I don't know why this is something that's so crazy. Marty Jaramillo is CBS Sports' injury expert. And he thinks he's absolutely on pace to come back this season. Quote, he's moving almost 3 times as fast as traditional protocols. No boot, no crutches, minimal limp. It's quite exponential. There's no precedent for this type of recovery following an Achilles tear. He's beating back father time, end quote. So keep an eye on that. I mean, look, if they're out of the playoffs, you don't rush them. You don't play them. You just don't, right? if they're fighting for a playoff. Zach Wilson got you there. Is a need to be protected Aaron Rodgers better than what Zach Wilson's going to give you at that time, and Robert Saleh is going to have to make that decision. Meanwhile, the Giants are worked out at least 2 quarterbacks because Daniel Jones has a neck injury. Say hello to Ian Book, formerly of Notre Dame, Matt Barkley, formerly of the University of Southern California, as their 2 alma mater went at each other in South Bend this weekend. They worked out on Monday for the Giants. Now, Tyrod Taylor is the replacement. Tommy DeVito, not to be confused with Danny, is the backup quarterback. Barkley's been in 19 games in his career. Ian Book, I think, has played in like 1. So they've got issues there. But Daniel Jones is out maybe for a while. He says his neck feels a lot better. He's working towards being ready for Week 7, but they don't know that. So they brought in Ian Book and Matt Barkley. Meanwhile, Anthony Richardson, the brilliant rookie for the Indianapolis Colts, probably is out the rest of the season, according to Jim Irsay, the owner. He's considering season-ending surgery. This feels like one that never got off the ground, right? We saw flashes of dynamicism, if that even is a word.
It is now.
Flashes of being dynamic. He was placed on injured reserve, grade 3 AC sprain. This feels like a bummer because I still, other than being a spectacular athlete, I still don't know what he is as a quarterback.
That's what you're supposed to do this year.
What?
Let's figure that out.
I know, and I don't know that.
Play in an NFL offense.
Right.
We don't know because he's been hurt. So you're right. We didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
Other than this dude's a really good athlete. And he can run with and past NFL dudes at times. And this one is such a bummer because it was just a regular tackle.
Yeah.
But he landed directly on his shoulder, and it was game over. And for Indianapolis, I understand them being extra cautious because they just watched Andrew Luck get destroyed and retire early. Like, we can't have this happen with Anthony Richardson.
Gardner Minshew and Sam Ellinger are your quarterbacks there. All right, what do you got on Justin Fields? Anything?
Doubtful.
What's his injury?
Dislocated his thumb on his throwing hand.
Can't squeeze a football. It's important. Jim Garoppolo went to the hospital after the game, had a back injury. You hearing anything on him?
No.
All right, so you got 6 quarterbacks who are out on bye, 4 who might be out injured. That's 10 out of the 30. How you feeling? I'm in a 2-quarterback league, by the way.
14-team, 2-quarterback league?
Yeah. No, that's a 10-team league. That one's a 10-team league.
I was going to say, you've got a very difficult weekend.
But I was down to Gardner Minshew last week. I was Gardner Minshew and Justin Fields. I won that game. That's how tough it is.
Fantasy football is wild.
It's wild.
It is.
Yeah. But that's where we are, man. I mean, we're down. Say hello to Matt Barkley. You know, quarterbacks, as much as they try to protect quarterbacks, I feel like they're getting hurt more. Honestly. Look at the rate that we're at with quarterbacks right now. Right? I mean, Tua is healthy.
They're still football players.
But it feels like, I don't know, it feels like more this year. All right, the Jets are without their first-string quarterback. The Browns are without their first-string quarterback. The Bengals got theirs back, but he's been out. The Colts are without theirs. The Titans are without theirs. We haven't even mentioned Ryan Tannehill. He's done. He may never play for them again. I don't know. I mean, the Chargers guy's playing with a broken finger. The Cardinals are without theirs. The Bears are without theirs. The Giants are without theirs. The Raiders are without theirs. That was 8 I just told you. Is that it? Did I get everybody?
And then the ones that the Jaguars could be without theirs on Thursday.
Oof.
Short week. Trevor Lawrence, the knee, while it might not be a long-term concern, it's something you have to monitor on a short week.
That's almost a third of the quarterbacks.
Josh Allen has a sore right shoulder after Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, sore is one thing because you expect them because they're football
Baker
players.
Mayfield has a bruised hand.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Keep protecting those quarterbacks, though. You can get Matt Barkley. Is Austin Apodaca still trying out for places? He was a former Lobo quarterback. Lamar Jordan. I mean, honestly, running around, it's been bonkers this year. That's where we are. Injury update on. Oh, and can I give you the police blotter update, because I think that matters as well too. The Rams starting cornerback. That's corner, C-O-R-N-E-R, not quarter. Darian Kendrick arrested in Los Angeles right after their win. He's a 6th-round pick. He played most of the Rams' defensive snaps. Arrested early Monday after the win. Pulled over for a traffic violation. During the stop, law enforcement found a gun in his car, which led to a concealed weapons charge, which in that state you cannot do like you can in other state. And so on Monday, his head coach, Sean McVay, said, yep, I'm aware of the situation. Didn't speculate on whether or not he practiced. Quote, we're continuing to gather information. Until then, I'm just going to kind of leave it at that until I have all the appropriate information. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to speak on things that I don't have the totality of, other than knowing that he was arrested early this morning, and that's kind of where we're at. That's a lot of sense to say, just, yeah, I'm not sure what's up. So you get that. All right, when we come back, the Rangers are going back to Dallas, the Texas baseball Rangers, after taking 2 in Houston. Is that one over? And the American League got started. That is a fun place to watch baseball in Philadelphia. Diamondbacks, I thought, were overwhelmed. They fought back. Good baseball yesterday. What do the Astros have to do to get back into it? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Brought to you by Tomasitas.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentering trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet.
Rest of the business. DC. So DC just went and found like the how-to for the Achilles Speed Bridge repair implant system that they did on Aaron Rodgers. And literally it's like if you went to IKEA or if you went to Costco and you bought a dresser and it's step by step on how to put it together. So it's like you got the whole kit right here. Okay, here's all everything that's included in the kit. Here's your anchors and your screws and everything right on page 1. And then it's step by step. And insert the 2 4.75 millimeter biocomposite Swivelock anchors located with fiber tape sutures, 1 blue and 1 white black, into the proximal holes, and place the eyelet completely in the drill hole until the anchor. It's unbelievable.
Do we need a certificate?
I feel
like we could.
Yeah, I think you earn one when you get through the 8-page document.
Well, it's almost like how to, right? Buy the thing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just you could do this at home.
That is the surgical guide.
I feel like we could start doing this on the weekend.
You could fix Achilles and do a sports show. It'd be great. Change the world.
You practice on your kid.
Yeah. But it is crazy when you look through it. Like, that technology is so advanced compared to what they were doing.
Well, I don't even know what they were doing before. Like, I have no idea. But as I'm looking through this, and I mean, not even that I understand half the words in here. Remove the Hoglin's prominence using a micro-sagittal saw and osteotome. Do you know? I don't even know half the words I'm reading. Take care to chamfer off the medial and lateral sides of the calcaneus, so as to not leave a prominence in the palpable under the skin, creating difficulties with footwear. You understand all that, Doctor?
Doctor, I understand well enough that I do believe that Aaron Rodgers has a very real chance of coming back this year.
Okay.
Which is a crazy, crazy thought.
Prepare the bone for insertion of the 2 4.75 millimeter biocomposite Swivelock anchors by drilling down to the laser line or to the shoulder stop when using the drill guide. Holy smokes. This is, I mean, it is fascinating. I feel like I can build a dresser now that I buy at Costco or something. Isn't that what this reminds you of?
I mean, it does. It does. It's numbered pictures.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah,
I feel like I could go out and do it right now.
All right. Well, maybe that's the new way. And Achilles,
Well, they're essentially taping the Achilles back to the heel instead of letting
and then drilling it back in.
Right. Instead of naturally reconnecting or surgically repairing in that way and letting it heal itself, they're kind of fast forwarding the whole process.
Here's some duct tape and some super glue. Let's go.
I know, it kind of feels like that.
Or then there's that, right? I mean, it kind of.
Just rub a little dirt on it. It's going to be fine.
It's pretty amazing. All right. So you've been watching the baseball, huh?
Oh, I'm hooked.
Had it on The Office yesterday. Watched, flipped over. Like, I was back and forth with the football last night. Back and forth. I know you could split screen it. I understand the technology. The Texas Rangers, over the last 2 nights, and for 7 games since the playoffs began, have won just about all of their big moments, right? I mean, they're winning the big moments. They won 5-4 yesterday. They got a double play when they needed one. They were at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Kind of postseason, like it's been pretty amazing. So Nathan Eovaldi was really good. They gave him a big lead to work with, working against Framber Valdez. 4 runs the first inning. They chased Valdez after 2 2/3, built a 5-1 lead, and back came the Astros. Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman hit home runs. It was on the verge of flipping. 5th inning, Michael Brantley and Chas McCormick singled. Josh Jung, who was pretty good, misplayed a slow roller. And then with the bases loaded, this was big. Bases loaded, no one out. Rangers up 5-2, right? And this is where you expect the Astros so often over the years, right? They've been so good, and they get out of it. Rangers, Phillies, is that what I'm looking at in the World Series? How does the network feel about that? You get Dallas and Philly, that's pretty good.
They feel pretty good.
They just don't want the Rangers and Diamondbacks, right?
Yeah.
Rangers are nice, man. And this is a club that 2 years ago was not nice and went out and spent in free agency. They've got guys coming up through the system, but what they went and did in free agency, they went and spent money and they got a club.
And it's the perfect combination. You have guys coming up. Tavares, center fielder, came up. Evan Carter was late call-up this season, has been playing well. You hit on, all right, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. Yeah. That's your infield. It's set. They traded for Jordan Montgomery. He's been a postseason ace this year since coming over from St. Louis.
Evaldi's been great.
And there's stories like this every year. And they were not a lot of times you think a wild card team.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, a team, got in. This was a team that they lost the division in the final week.
Right. And because they really faltered down the stretch.
And it's the only thing I got right in baseball in the postseason was they were the team that if they got going, they would go on a roll.
So I'm not ready to sign the Astros off yet. Is that okay?
It's only 2 games.
The defending champs. I mean, they're down 2-0. I'm not ready to put a spike in them yet because I think they're really good. But man, the momentum that Texas has right now, the way that they're playing, and the breaks that they are getting, are pretty amazing.
Got to play clean baseball.
Yeah, and they do. They do. Last night, would they commit 1 error? 8 hits. They got good starting pitching. Evaldi went 6. That's great starting pitching now, right? And then they get into the bullpen, and they've been really good. The other side, happy birthday to Bryce Harper. He had a home run on his birthday. Astros, and I don't know what it is about that place, and they will lose a game there, I think. But that place just feels like a house of horrors. It just feels like I want to go to a ball game in Philly.
Yeah, people describe it as a football-like atmosphere. Yeah. Like a college football game.
Addie went to a game. My daughter was there this year. That's when she got a ball there. She was at a Phillies Mets game. Remember I showed that picture?
Yeah.
The guy, one of the Mets, there was Mets fans there, and after the inning, she was behind the dugout. They flipped the ball to the guy. They fought for it and fumbled it, and it rolled to her. And she's like, "It's mine, it's mine, y'all." And then some lady, because she was wearing a red Duke City Scorpions hat for her lacrosse team. They're like, "Well, at least I went to a Phillies fan." She's like, "I'm not a Philly man. I'm indifferent. Don't sign me up here, man. Thanks. Don't sign me up. I just got the ball." She said it was amazing.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia. You see good atmosphere in postseason baseball outside of Tampa Bay because for some reason they just don't care about it.
Yeah, and LA doesn't get crazy.
But yeah. you get good atmospheres in postseason baseball. There's definitely something special about Philly. Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Because he's been around for so long, I think we forget that he's a dude that's lived up to the hype. Like we crowned him in high school. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He's the next big thing. Like, he's lived up to the hype. Yeah, he's get a championship ring, but Bryce Harper has done everything that you'd expect, and that's hard for those guys to do.
Yeah, he's hitting 409 in the postseason. It was 2 for 3 with the home run yesterday, couple of RBI, and he is big moment Bryce right now. I mean, he is popping at the big moment. You're right.
We set the bar so high for these guys.
Yeah.
He's coming up, and he's a catcher coming out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
This is the next face of baseball. Maybe you don't come in and take over the game when you right away with those expectations, but you take a step back and you look at the overall picture and then what this guy's doing in the playoffs. You're like, yeah, Bryce Harper, he's that dude.
He is that dude. The Diamondbacks, and I'm going to tell you, because Gallen's been so good. I watched the first couple innings. I'm like, whoa, is this moment's going to just be too big for them, right? Phillies scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. And I'm like, oh, this could get ugly. And they settled down. And when they got the 2 in the sixth, I'm like, okay, we got to. And they had opportunities now. They had opportunities. They had guys on base. Diamondbacks are going to give them a run, don't you think? I think the Phillies come out of it. I think the Phillies are really good. And here we are staring at, what is it, 3 of the 4 left are wild card teams, right? People don't like the wild card. Not sure how much I love it either, but it's been really good for baseball. 3 or 4 wild card. Can we go back to that conversation? So I've heard this so much. Baseball, because you've said this all the time, and you're right. Baseball's playoffs are the most toss-up, right? Throw it up, anybody can win. And it's baseball, because it's on any given week. I mean, it doesn't surprise you if the Braves, a 100-win team, go and play the A's over the weekend, a 60-win team, and the A's take 2 out of 3. Doesn't surprise you in August or July or May if a bad team takes 2 out of 3 from what you think is a good team, right? Now, if the Panthers beat the 49ers, you're like, whoa, what the hell just happened, right? It doesn't happen that way. And so baseball's like that all year. People are losing their mind because the teams with the best 5 records in baseball this year are not still alive in baseball's Final Four. And somebody did the research, and the higher seeded team wins like 50-something to 60-something% in baseball in the playoffs, right? It doesn't happen. I tell you all the time that the champion isn't always the best team. If you want the best team to be the champion, then crown their ass after the regular season. Don't do playoffs, right? And it's a reason we do playoffs in every sport.
Yeah. Playoffs are designed for opportunity.
You know, I look at hockey all the time. Didn't
you have 8 seeds that go
all the time? The Kings did it. Yeah. Who won last year? It was Vegas versus the Panthers, right? And the Panthers got in on the last day of the season and got all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
So if you're going to have playoffs, then momentum does become a thing.
Yeah. Yes. Look,
and I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, we got to change the system because a 100-win baseball team couldn't figure out how to win one game in the playoffs.
That's right. 100%. Dodgers went out, didn't win a game. Braves went out, won 1 game. Phillies didn't win a game.
The Orioles
didn't win a game. Win a game, dude. You're at home. You got your pitching set up. Win a game. And this is where I kind of get deaf on this with people losing their mind over, well, the best teams aren't winning. Well, yeah, they are. They're playing the best right now. This is, unless you just want to get rid of the playoffs. And that's how you want to crown a champion. I don't care what your sport is. Look, United's going into the playoffs as an 8 seed. Right? They got in on the last day. They think they got a pretty good chance to do something, don't they?
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Where'd the Miami Heat come from? They went to the final?
They were in the play-in tournament.
Who'd the Nuggets beat in the finals this year?
The Heat.
The Nugget and the Heat were in the play-in tournament, right? So that means they were 7, 8, 9, or 10? I mean, that's what the playoffs are. And I don't know that I heard people screaming that we got to change the playoffs there because the Heat beat the Celtics. Right? They beat them in a best-of-7 series, didn't they? Now, best-of-7 is a lot different than best-of-3 or best-of-5. But you don't have time to do that with the buys. Oh, by the way, weather. I mean, you can only extend this thing so much. The answer would be to shorten the season and back it up. That would be your answer if you want to do that. Which, by the way, if that's the conversation you want to have, if you want to have the conversation about cutting it from 162 to 156 and then backing up the season and playing full series at the top of the playoffs, best of 7, I'll listen to that one. I gave you a solution a couple of years ago. DC, you weren't here. Play 8 day-night doubleheaders on Sundays during the week or during the season. So the owners don't want to lose the gate. Play a day-night doubleheader. You play at 1, you play at 8. You can do it on Saturdays because Sundays seem to be getaway days. Clear the park. You still get 2 gates. You lop a week and a half off the season. So you still play your 162 games. You still get your full dates. Baseball teams play doubleheaders all the time. You expand the rosters for the doubleheaders by 2. They can carry 27 players and a couple extra pitchers, whatever they need. And it lops a week and a half off of the season. You could back it up, start the playoffs in mid-September, still play baseball games in Boston and Minnesota, and you still get your 162. You play the playoffs earlier. You can now play full series in playoffs. You're not worried about weather. You got a problem with that?
I like that a lot. The 3-game series, 5-game series, I wish they were 7.
Yeah, they're not baseball, right? Baseball, to JJ's point, right? Now, if you like the underdog winning, you get more of a chance in those 3-game
series all the time.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Yeah.
That's baseball.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Come on in, and you can get in, and we'll talk about that. All right, the Rams have issues at running back now. They found a young man named Kyron Williams who's been terrific. You found him on your fantasy team. You might not have him this week. Oh, and don't go to Ronnie Rivers either, his backup. I'll tell you why when we come back. How's your vehicle? A mess, right? I know. No, look, it was Fiesta. You just coming out of summer. You did road trips. Remember what it was like the day you took it off the lot? Remember how fun it was to be in your car? Remember what it smelled like, looked like? Remember it was for a while you'd clean everything up. Hey, pick that stuff up, right? Then you just you'd let it go. Get it back. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do that for you. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you on the spot. That means where it's convenient for you and when it's convenient for you. That means at your office, at your home during the day. You don't take it to them. You don't have to pick it up. I don't even know where their office is. It doesn't matter because they know where mine is. They're outside detailing your vehicle. This is the professionals. Now, this is the best there is. When they're done, you go outside and your vehicle looks and feels and smells brand new, like the day you took it off the lot. It's a great gift, too. We're getting into gift-giving season, boys and girls. A great gift is something somebody will love but might not buy for themselves, right? This is it. I've given it a number of times. People love this. Get your car professionally detailed. Get a fresh coat of wax. Even ceramic coating is available. It's the best way to protect your car. And On the Spot offers a 10% discount to our military and teachers. Schedule by calling 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859 or online at otsdetailing.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
How he moved the thing around, to whom he threw it, when he threw it, what he didn't do. Would you have 7 targets for CeeDee Lamb, 10 targets? He loved Michael Gallup. Only 3 out of the 10 targets connected, but he was going there a lot. Like to see him use a little more Jake Ferguson, just for a little selfish reasons, but it is what it is. They were all over the place, man. But I thought he was really good yesterday. That was the best game I've seen Dak play in a long time. A game that mattered, right? And not a game against New England where they beat the crap out of them 38-3 or whatever. A game that was really, a good game. He needed to.
You have moments in the season. And the Cowboys acknowledge it. CeeDee Lamb was talking with Scott Van Pelt after the game. Like, yeah, we knew, I don't know what this game meant. Was it a must-win game? It was a must-respond game. It was, you need to look like you know what you're doing offensively. This is a Chargers team that gives up a ton of yards. There were plays to be made. CeeDee Lamb made those plays. The Cowboys' offense, efficient, didn't turn the football over, and that's the team that, are they going to win a championship? I don't know if you're going to put them over the top 3 in NFC right now, which is clearly San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Detroit, but you have more confidence in. And at least you know they're going to compete. They can rail off a lot of wins in the regular season and at least put themselves in position to do something.
They can go on the road and win a game in prime time against a decent football team.
Can't call it a road game. But.
Well, it was on the road just because they had more fans there. They were still on the road. They had it right. I mean, they had certainly more fans there than the Chargers did.
I don't think you're walking into the visiting locker room at SoFi and there's no hot water.
Who's a Charger fan? I mean, Lenny is. Lenny calls our show periodically. You know any other Charger fans? Like honestly, all my Charger fan buddies are pissed because they were San Diego Charger fans.
Yeah,
and they're jilted, right? And then you go to LA. I don't know what that is, dude. I'm looking around too. There's a lot of noise. All right, Chargers go to the Chiefs this week. By the way, what do you think that spread is early? Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs aren't like beating the crap out of people, like they're winning, right? But they're not winning by tons. unless you play the Bears.
6.5.
What do you got?
That's actually what I was thinking.
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. All right, Rams are home. They get the Steelers. Kyron Williams is their running back. Kyron Williams is a guy that came out of somewhere, nowhere, and has been a top 5 rusher in the league, who had another terrific week last week in the victory over who the Rams beat this week.
The Rams?
Yeah, we didn't get a ram it
The
yesterday,
Cardinals.
so I don't even remember. The Cardinals. We didn't get a ram it yesterday. I almost played it at the end. Almost. You got a lot to remember, dude. And the Rams don't win very often, so that's just not on the
Is it
list.
3 wins this season?
Yeah. All right, went out with an ankle injury, and they thought it was going to be bad. They got an MRI yesterday. Ian Rappaport reports that it was just a sprain that they expected to miss this week. Ronnie Rivers is hurt too, right?
Yeah,
So
he has a PCL injury, so he's out 5 to 6 weeks.
So they're 2 guys down. 2 running backs down with the Steelers coming in. Next up is a guy named Zach Evans. Who be Zach Evans, you ask? A 6th-round pick out of Ole Miss, a rookie. That's who Zach Evans is. So take away the running game a little bit, or watch Zach Evans go for 125, which, by the way, might happen. All right, when we come back, 505-246-0610, that's how to get in. Well, at least he didn't break her neck. What? Thank you, Kevin Porter Jr. At least he didn't break her neck. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Yards for him, 22 out of 37. Austin Eckler was back, was fine. I thought they looked at Palmer, they looked at Everett, they used Everett for the tight end. And we got to have a conversation at some point on the Justin Herbert thing. We started to in the first hour of today's show. Justin Herbert, in for whatever reason, and I'm not looking. The only reason I bring it up is for equity. We and I say we, right? We talk about quarterbacks all the time and judge them solely on winning, correct? Except for this quarterback. Aaron Rodgers gets critiqued for losing in the playoffs, but you look at regular season, his wins were terrific. You're critiquing Russell Wilson and Jim Garoppolo even when he wins. And there's never any critique necessarily on Justin Herbert. I'm not looking, he's out there playing with a broken hand. There's so much to like about him, everything to like about him. He seems like he carries himself well. He seems like his teammates love him. He has a rocket arm. He gets out of the pocket. But they're 2-3, man. And you could look at that roster and just say, dude, they're way too good to be 2-3.
They're paper champions. Have been and always will be. And for Justin Herbert, we all see the talent, and we know he's better than that, just as a quarterback. But your individual talent, if it's not producing wins, then we get to this point where we're just kind of like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert, he's 27-27 overall in his career. He's a 500 quarterback. And the Chargers, to me, they haven't necessarily done anything wrong in team building. Like, you look at the players, as you said. Like, you got a Bosa out there, or Derwin James. You have the skill position players. You're not winning. So does it come down to Brandon Staley? Do they need that change at the top to ignite something different in the character and the culture of that football team? Or could Justin Herbert be the next Matthew Stafford?
Needs a new place to go win a championship. He's going to the Rams and he's going to win. I'm down with that. I'm totally down.
Like, we don't view the Chargers franchise-wise as the Lions, but the Chargers ain't out there winning anything. They're not lighting the world on fire.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go to the phones in a minute, but I need to give you this because I teased it before with the break. I read the headline, and I didn't even know what to think of the headline. Kevin Porter Jr. didn't break girlfriend's neck. Prosecutors drop one charge. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So, is this a positive? Well, at least he didn't break her neck. Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. has had a charge, one of the assault charges dropped against him because he did not fracture one of his girlfriend's neck vertebrae during an alleged altercation in a New York hotel last month. He's dating Kaiser Gondrzak, former WNBA player. The New York Post is saying that the assistant DA cited insufficient evidence for the reason for dropping the second-degree assault. What initially appeared to be a fractured vertebrae was not, in fact, an injury caused by the defendant. Okay. He was arrested after an alleged attack on Gondrzak at the Millennium Hotel in September. He still faces charges of second-degree strangulation and third-degree assault, to which he's pleaded not guilty. The judge has been told that there will be a plea deal on the lower third-degree charge, or at least there was one presented, and Porter rejected it. Rockets have told him he cannot be with the team in any capacity after this arrest. Aside from that, everything else related to Porter falls under the NBA's collective bargaining agreement. It'll be handled by the league. I don't know what you think. When you saw the headline, well, at least he didn't break her freaking neck, so they dropped the charge. Does this still make you sick?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm on the right page. What are we doing? All right. Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
Well, before I get to the Chargers, you're on the right page. And the contract he has for this year is non-guaranteed. But until the league makes a decision, he has to get paid.
Yeah.
So he's still collecting his $15.1 million salary.
For doing, yeah, but he's still also battling these charges, too. But yes, that's correct.
Oh, no, I know he's battling. I'm not condoning anything he did. The guy he's had trouble since college all the way through.
Well, he's got
and
more
every
trouble
team
now.
he's gone to, he's had trouble. Yeah. Why is he still allowed to even be back in the league?
Well, he might not be for long. He might not.
It's not a right to be in the
That's
NBA
correct.
or any pro sport. It's a privilege.
It's a privilege. 100%.
So let's go with the Chargers.
Please.
Okay. There is a serious disconnect between the coaching staff and Herbert. And like JJ said, 27-27 is an anemic record for somebody to get the contract he got with the ability that he has. But their offensive line is terrible. Their defensive backfield is terrible. Yeah, we have Bosa and Mack, but not much else going on. And Herbert last night was either underthrowing passes, overthrowing passes, routes weren't being run right. I don't know what's going on. But if it's Staley, then we can't wait till the end of the season. We need to go now. If you think that your offensive coordinator is going to take over, then do it now. But the season's going to be over here shortly with one more loss.
Now they get the Chiefs next week. So assuming they lose that one, they go to 2-4, and then they get a stretch. Well, they get the Bears, the Jets, and then they get the Lions, the Packers, the Ravens. I mean, they don't have an easy schedule.
Now, I'm not putting and I'm a Jet fan too, but I think the Jets look better than the Chargers
I
do
agree
right
with
now.
you. I 100% agree with you. Yes. Even with now, nobody will say I would want Zach Wilson instead of Justin Herbert, but overall, as a team, I agree with you. The Jets look better than the Chargers do, and I would tell you the
and
Jets
that
probably have a better
comes down
coach.
to coaching.
Yeah, I think so.
So they're coaching up Wilson, and their defense. They beat Philadelphia last week with 3 of their defensive backfield starters out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yet they did it by picking off and making Justin Hurts uncomfortable and making him turn the ball.
Well, the 3 Jet wins they have this year have all come with them getting 3 defensive turnovers.
I think
the
we all knew that
losses,
was
they didn't have any turnovers.
Yeah. I think everybody knew their strength was their defense. So, all right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if the Chargers don't wake up soon or the owners don't, then I'm going to blame it on the owners.
Fair.
For giving Staley too much of a rope and just saying, let's just cut bait and move on.
No, maybe Kellen Moore's
Because if Herbert has a better coach, he's a top 10 quarterback. Right now, he looks like a bottom 3rd quarterback.
Yeah, I think most people would tell you he's probably a top 10 guy, even though he doesn't look like it. But I agree with you. All right, man, it's good to hear you. Thanks,
All
Lenny.
right, have a
See
good
ya.
one.
I just got a text that says Justin Herbert has no touch. They should have won that game. Dude misses wide open receivers. I don't know if I think he has no touch. I think
it might have been more of an in the moment thing than who Justin Herbert is, because we're talking about a guy that in 4 NFL seasons is completing 67% of his passes.
Yeah, I think, and again, I'm not judging anything on one day. Like, I don't think he was good yesterday.
I think it's, even it being his offhand, I think that really affected him. He wasn't catching snaps cleanly. He was off on some of his throws, so I agree with that. I don't think that's who he is overall.
At some point, you got to win. At some point, you got to be better than a 500 quarterback. And look, this isn't a Tom Brady situation where, well, who are his weapons? What has he got? I mean, you look around, dude. Austin Eckler wasn't there the last few weeks, but you say Mike Williams. All right, well, he's not there now. Keenan Allen's a player. Ingram's a player. They have enough offense.
Justin Herbert.
I agree with that.
This feels like Stafford-esque, where we're going to sit there and find ways to make Justin Herbert not be as good as he is. And then he goes somewhere else and you're like, oh, yeah, he is pretty good.
And that might be
because that was the whole Matthew Stafford thing in Detroit.
Look,
they're not winning, so he can't be that good. Like, yeah, it falls in you as a quarterback, but there is a legit issue with this organization to have that much talent and not put it together.
Yeah, I think that's right. And when we come back, you guys are. I got a bunch of emails on Lobo football. I'll get you those. Your thoughts moving forward with that. And when does NBA season start? Is it next week? This week? When's opening day? It's like any day now, right? Any day. James Harden talking about it's out of my control. Literally out of my control. Don't look here. It's not my fault. Yeah, it kind of is. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
In sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of Pro View Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
610, the sports animal.
Aggies play tomorrow down in El Paso. It'll be the renewal of the rivalry of I-10 or the I-10 rivalry. What do they call it? The I-10 rivalry, I believe is what it is. Or the Battle of I-10. Wednesday night lights, Conference USA. What do you think of the? I actually don't mind, and I've been somewhat enjoying the Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night lights the Conference USA is doing. I will tell you this, and I was privy to some of the numbers recently. More people are watching Conference USA football this way than they
would
were
on Saturday. Absolutely.
Oh, I mean,
it's no doubt. It's rougher for fans. That's the reality of it. But it's great exposure for your conference and team.
And you do it for 4 of the 12 games, so it's basically a third of your season is that way. And I understand, so that's usually it's going to be 2 home games, and so 2 of your 6, and it's not ideal. And it's a rivalry game this week that you've been playing for 100 years or so. But more people are watching your product. More people know who Jerry Kill and Diego Pavia and Liberty and Jacksonville State and any of that is because they're playing on Wednesday and Tuesdays and Thursdays and all that stuff. But I get it. It's not for everybody. But there's a reason. I've told you this for years. There's a reason Toledo plays Bowling Green and Miami of Ohio plays Ohio and Central Michigan plays Western Michigan on Tuesday and Wednesday nights in November. And the reason is people watch. And it's flat out proven. You can tell me, I'm not watching. Okay, that's fine. But they do. And the exposure by being the only game on is way better than it is being buried in the lineup on Saturday, sifting through USC, Notre Dame, and Oregon versus Washington and whatever, your team is. More people are watching it, so it's been good for them. All right. Would you tell me the NBA starts next week?
Yes.
James Harden and the Sixers are still at a bypass. James Harden opted in. This was his option. He opted to stay with the Sixers and then demanded a trade, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's just because then he figured, well, they got to pay me, but they don't want me. They'll trade me. It was a player's option. That's how the contract was constructed. He had that right. He believes he was lied to, but says, I've always been a man of my word. He has an issue with Daryl Morey, the general manager, with whom he's worked for a long, long time. He claims that when he exercises $35.6 million player option, that's what he's making this year. Morey, the GM, the president of the club, promised that he would trade Harden to the Clippers. Trade hasn't happened. It's been reported that it was the Clippers, in fact, who initially pulled out of the talks. Morey wanted, and I don't blame him, he wanted something reasonable. He's got to protect his club. He wanted reasonable return for Harden. Clippers deemed that to be unreasonable for an aging star who once again went into the tank in the playoffs in the biggest moment of the season. Trade talks are reportedly back on between the Sixers and the Clippers. For now, Harden's still a 76er. He is in camp. He hasn't caused a whole big stir. He doesn't appear to be out of shape. He's, by accounts, working hard. But he still clearly wants out. Quote, this is James Harden. This is definitely a difficult time. But for me, it's just trusting the people that you've known over a decade. When I got traded to Philadelphia, my whole thing was I wanted to retire a Sixer. I wanted to be here and retire a Sixer. And the front office didn't have that in their future plans. It's literally out of my control. It's something that I didn't want to happen, being in this position, but I've got to make a decision for my family. This is a business. It's just as simple as that. I came here today and I worked my butt off, do the things necessary as a professional, as I would do and as I've been doing for 15 years, end quote. When you hear him say, this is not my fault, I have nothing to do with this. This is just a bad situation. People lied to me. Where are you?
Oh, you're part of the problem, James Harden. Maybe there was something promised that changed, but that's business and that's life. And for the Philadelphia 76ers, you can't look at James Harden and be like, we're going to reward you with one of the biggest contracts in basketball now, because that is not smart business.
Look, maybe Daryl Morey made a promise that he fully intended on following through, but it wasn't going to get fleeced in the deal. And Daryl Morey's obligation, his job, is to protect the Philadelphia 76ers. He's got an asset in James Harden. You're not going to give him up for a bag of balls and some sunflower seeds. You need fair compensation in return. And maybe, what this sounds like to me is, yeah, dude, we'll trade you, figuring that the Clippers wanted him and that they would.
Well, there's that. There's a contract extension that I'm sure was floated out there saying, all right, James, you take
less last year.
The deals in the past, get a little bit less, we'll cover you on the back end. And I can understand how you feel burned if that did happen. That you take a little bit less and then they don't commit to you with more in the long term. You're going to feel hurt. But then you need to have a coming back together moment. And the owner has to get involved at that point in time, too, is to have a discussion with James Harden saying, all right, this didn't quite go the way we thought, but this is why. And if you're James Harden, this is still such a great opportunity for you to just buy in. You're playing along
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. You saw James Harden. Well, he's not the dude that's night in and night out going to give you all-star level play, but he did lead that team to 2 playoff wins on his shoulders. And so if you're Philadelphia, you still see that right now. And you go, all right, Joel Embiid is the key. He's a force. We get James Harden into his role. That's how you can be competitive. But this is just all a bitter, woe is me, James Harden. And I get it if I'm Philadelphia, too. I'm like, I'm done with you, man.
I can give you reality. Reality is, if he wanted out, he didn't have to extend his contract. He opted in. He didn't have to sign the player option. $35.6 million. And DC, I've told you, I love when guys walk away. I'd love to be in a position to say, yeah, I'm good. I'm walking away from $35.5 million. Right? But of course, look, nobody was going to pay him what he thinks he's worth on the open market. So this is the most he was going to get. And he wanted to go to the Clippers. And the Clippers flat out don't have the cap space to sign him. So he had to go there via trade. And he's been trying to squeeze a contract out of the Sixers that flat out the market's told him he's not worth. And the Sixers were smart enough not to give it to him. So he went the trade demand because that's the only way he could get to the Clippers, who, in his mind, could then give him a big long-term deal that he thinks he deserves. Are the Clippers going to give him a big long-term deal? I don't think they will, but look, it's the Clippers. Maybe they will. They've done plenty of things you scratch your head about. So when he says it's out of his control, it's out of his control to get what he wants.
Yes.
That's what's out of his control. But he literally signed the contract that he did not have to sign to stay with the Sixers. It was 100% in his control. Now, I don't know what he would have got on the free agent market. JC, what's he worth? 36.5 now. Is he worth, what, $20 million a year on the market? 22? I don't even know, dude. Guys are making such ridiculous bonkers money. But yeah, it was in his control. So that's keep an eye on it, because it sounds like they're telling us that the trade talks between the Sixers and the Clippers are back on. So, all right, I got a bunch in on Louisville football. You want some of them? Lobo Hobo.
You want to take this break?
Yeah, why don't we take this break? And then I'll give you your thoughts on Louisville football when we come back. Yeah, that's fine. I got 4 or 5 of them. So we'll get into that. Louisville football when we get back. What you thinking? The title of this says, was it the chicken or the Rocky? Give that to you next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We're all moving a little faster now. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These Sports Animal.
Cowboys winners last night 20-17 over the Chargers. Dak played well. Cowboy fan, where are you? It's a good one for you last night. It's a good win. It's a good bounce back after getting thumped by the Niners to come back and kind of quiet all that. A loss last night would have been a tough one for them to handle. Coming off of the loss to the 49ers, then to lose on Monday Night Football, this would have been a tough one. They win last night, and expect to hear from you today, Cowboy fan. Got a little bit from Omar. He sent the Charlie Pride song. He wants to hear it. Do you get that from him? A big win at Texas Stadium West. The Chargers, as the Chargers couged it again. That's funny. He wants the Charlie Pride song. Dallas Cowboys. Do you have that one? You want me to send that to you? That's what he wants to hear, just because they won. All right. The chicken or the Rocky. This is from Lobo Hobo. Jeff, is the defense bad because Rocky left, or did he leave because he knew they weren't going to be very good? Lobo football.
This is kind of assume what you want. I don't think this defense would be a whole lot better if Rocky was the defensive coordinator.
All right. See, this is one I don't think we'll ever know.
And did Rocky see the writing on the wall, or was it not just an opportunity, but Rocky not wanting to be in the position? If Rocky was the defense coordinator right now, all that would be happening would be Rocky Long needs to take over this team.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right. Rocky will never say a bad thing about this place. Yeah, he's going to keep it in. He's not going to say a bad thing. Can I bring up something, a way bigger picture? And I know this can open a can of worms, and it is what it is. This conversation with a number of people out there over the weekend. I've had this conversation with people outside the market. And I know when we start talking facilities, people lose their mind. How much do you think the facility itself is holding back this program? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more context before you answer, because I know there's plenty of you sitting at home saying it's a damn stadium. The players don't care, and they do. You complain about the access points, how long it took to get in for the New Mexico State game. Fair enough. You complain about the concessions, the restrooms. We're in an antiquated press box. There's a lack of what they call premium seating. And you're going to say, why would you put money into it? I hear you when they're not winning and people aren't going. I'm going to tell you this again. It's about investment into football. And it goes to recruiting, and it goes to everything. And yes, you have to win. I'm acknowledging that. Preface 100% yes. Can you win before you commit to football? And I'm not telling you Eddie doesn't want to commit to football. I'm not even telling you at the level of President Stokes they don't want to commit to football. I believe they do. I've been to almost every facility in the league. I know you've been to a lot of them. I don't know what Nevada's done. Maybe they haven't. I know they're building a brand new basketball arena. But every other facility in the league has been either upgraded or is brand new. You got 3 brand new ones in Colorado State, San Diego State, and Vegas. Boise State, Fresno State, Air Force, Wyoming, heck, Hawaii, because they've had to, right? San Jose State, Utah, everybody has upgraded their facility. And you're going to say, Jeff, it doesn't matter the product, and it all trickles down. It's a commitment to football. It's a funding thing. It's all that. Do you feel the facility is holding back the program.
It can't be ignored.
I think that's right.
It's not as simple as Boulder Brand New Stadium or winning the conference.
No, I'm not telling you
Look
that
at
either.
Colorado State. But you want good facilities for your athletes. You want good things for your fans to continue to try to play the game of college athletics.
Jeff just sent me a text, said, I've been saying it for years. The facilities are a huge part of the problem. We've been putting lipstick on that pig for 20 years. And when you compare it to other programs of similar size and scope, we can't hold a candle. You absolutely need new, not upgraded facilities to be relevant. I don't know what new means cost-wise as opposed to, do you level that thing? I've heard, played with a former player, played golf on Sunday. They need to put in chair backs. Okay. They need better concessions. They need wider concourses. They need more access points. They need more premium seating. They need, a stadium that was built in the mid-'60s, if I'm not mistaken, that has been mildly renovated. They enclosed the north end, I want to say 20, 25 years ago. They built a weight room, so it's taken away what they try to do with premium seating with the tents, that you used to sit in for the bowl game, right? Which was really fun, that's now taken away. And I mean, I don't know where the money's coming from. I know that there's a push that there's some private money that's been raised. Not enough. They're going to ask for a match, I think. Rod says, we don't need another chicken place, Jefferson. We need to save that land and use it for a new state-of-the-art arena or stadium. At stadium. I don't know what chicken place means. I'm not telling you if you build a new stadium, you win. But I'm asking, do you guys feel that the facility, because now people tell me, I don't want to go to that dump, is what people tell me. And I mean, look, is it the nice, it's not a dump. It isn't. But I'm telling you that everybody else kind of has passed you by facility-wise. What does Richard Pitino talk about all the time when he talks about recruiting in New Mexico basketball?
The fans at the pit?
He talks about that facility, right? Now, that facility also is antiquated, but they've turned that into a positive because A, there's some history there, B, there's nothing like it, C, you pack it. Okay? But look how he uses the facility. And look, it's got its deficiencies too now. As a recruiting tool, and it's got you excited about it. And I wonder how much you're willing to accept, and I think if they get X number of dollars in private funding, and then get it matched by the state, which I don't think is, in Wyoming they match 1-to-1 every dollar. Their legislature now they have one Division I university there. Just asking the question, how do you feel about that? Because I think it's an issue. Rod says, this is from Telus. Telus says, we got to get back to that. Jeff, remember Rocky Apologist used to cite his record after a freshening to show how great a coach he was? Has Danny won a game yet coming out of a bye week? I don't know. They didn't win this year. I don't know. Gopher is the quarterback of the future on campus, Jeff. I don't think Hopkins has done enough to keep Gonzalez from going to the bench and see what he's got there sitting the rest of the season. You're going to see more Devin Dampier, I think. Now, he can play 4 games and keep his red shirt. Does he play 3?
You can't worry about red shirts. You can't redshirt people anymore. If they can play, you got to play.
I think that's probably right. I think
that's just a wasted season, unless there's an injury.
Dan says Jeffrey and Derek Charlito. What was the worst loss, NMSU or San Jose State or Juan Jose State? Lobo fans hate NMSU, but getting pantsed at your place by a club with 0 FBS wins was tough. Dan, you got to get over that was a bad team. If you played SC, Oregon State, Toledo, and Boise State, how many wins would you have? I'm just asking. Yes, they were 1-5.
It's an easy.
It's too easy.
Answer that question. New Mexico State.
Worst loss in New Mexico State or San Jose State was New Mexico State?
Because here's the thing. You beat New Mexico State. You get people listening to the conversation of how good Wyoming is, of you had a bad half, but San Jose State with Chevron Cordero and veteran players on both sides of the football is a good team. You can't have that conversation. You can't get people back. Once you lost to New Mexico State, they're not listening to anything else you have to say.
Text line, facilities for Lobo football suck. We are the embarrassment of the NCAA and the entire Western United States. This being said, fans won't buy in until we're at least competitive. This is the long and short of it. Look, the facilities don't suck, and you are not the embarrassment of the entire Western United States, but you are lagging. The facilities don't suck. You have an indoor, which is actually a pretty nice indoor that's held up. JJ, that's 20 years old now, right? 18 years old? The indoor is still good, and not everybody's got one. You got a nice practice facility. Your locker room is good. Your weight room is as nice as anybody's. Your facilities don't suck. Your stadium, though, is an issue. Are there worse? Yeah, dude. I've been to worse, too. I have. What I'm telling you is your peer institutions have found the money, whether it's private, whether it's public, whether it's a combination thereof, to improve it and show the commitment. And that's look, in large respect, that's what it is. It's the commitment to football. And I know some of you sent me the note. We're not playing the drop down or drop football game. We're not, because they're not doing it, so it's not worth the conversation. But how much how much of a priority should that be, do you think? Upgrading that facility to be, you know how people tell you, dress for the job you want, not the job you have? You've heard that, right? If you're looking for that promotion, dress for the job you have, not the job, or the job you want. Not the, they need to kind of dress for the job they want. They all want to continue to be better. They want to have a competitive football program. They want to be in position to go, let's just say this program was successful as, let's say, Wyoming over the last decade. And all the Big 12, Pac-12 stuff came up. Would New Mexico have been in that conversation? Right? Football, we hear football was holding them back. The facility would have been a big holdback. You put in Texas in that locker room. You've seen the visitors' locker room. Right? All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610 if you want to get into that. Look, I'm not making excuses, okay? And you can save that. They got to win, okay? But I'm just asking you about facilities. So we're talking about building a new one for United, which got, tabled yesterday, or the vote got postponed. You go to the games. How important do you think that is? Because it's a facilities war out there, right? It's a race, not a war. It's a facilities race. Everybody's building better, bigger. And for the most part, yeah, they got a weight room. That place hasn't been touched in about 2 decades. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. How does Taco Bell?
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal
point here.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid on it going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that? Ethan Olguin. My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, and gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto makes one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
Sweet Pete Jr. right
What
there.
a move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
Happy with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vicente Tafoya. Ryan Brown had punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it pay.
Right back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
He was the voice for 41 years at the Open Championship. On the tee from the USA, Tiger Woods passed away. He was 83 years old. All right, 505-246-0610. I asked the question, do you think the facility is holding back Lobo football? And you've got some responses. Rudy, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, this is pretty near and dear to my heart. You know, the thing about stadiums is they're egalitarian. You don't have to be a member of a fraternity or a sorority. All you have to do is buy a ticket to get in, right?
All right.
And the state's missing the boat. And they should be places that attract people. And I remember when that stadium was built in 1960. Did you know that it was the third largest college-owned stadium west of the Mississippi when it was built?
Did not.
Yes. Bigger than Arizona State. The only one, I think the Cal Bowl was bigger, and there was one other in California, probably, I don't know if it was Stanford's or what.
Doesn't matter.
And then there was the Rose Bowl, and that was it. So we're champions in 62, 63, and 64. What happened? Two platoon football in the pit. And ever since then, nobody's had the vision. Now we're sitting on $3 billion. $3 billion. Let's make one big move and make that stadium. You don't have to wreck the stadium, but there's things that you need to do. You need to get rid of the first 10 rows on either side somehow because nobody can see because they're too low. Raise that up a little bit. Reconfigure the concourse. $100 million would transform that stadium, and it would make it a place that you could have concerts. I remember when they had Metallica there. You know, there's a lot of things you could do with that stadium. You could, the imagination is endless, but it has to change the basic outside structure. Guess what it would benefit, Jeff?
Everybody.
Something near and dear to your heart.
Well, of course.
The New Mexico Bowl.
Of course. But Rudy, there's a lot of ideas on what needs to be fixed, and you mentioned a bunch of them. And look, they need premium seating, and they need more entrance points, and they need a wider concourse. And I don't know what $100 million does, or $125. I don't know what the cost is. My feeling is that it's time because everybody. It's time. I mean, I don't know. 1960s is what we're 60 years later, right? 60 years later is 60 years a pretty good run out of a stadium. It's time to bring it up to 2023 standards. That's all.
Well, I'm no architect or general contractor, but I know $100 million is not just paint on the stadium.
Yeah, I would think that's right. All right, man. No, I appreciate you.
Thanks for
all right, thanks. Yeah. What do I got left? Do I have time for Jerry, or do I need to hold him through the break? All right, Jerry got 1 minute. Hi, Jerry.
Actually, good morning.
Jerry, I'm going to hold
Rudy
you.
said it better than I can, but let me just give you a real live example. I was there for the first game, and at the half, I was trying to find my son and my grandson. So I tried to get through the walkway area, and it was truly a mosh pit.
Yeah, it's too tight.
Now, I'm in my 70s, and I don't get around that well, but there were young people, particularly younger women, hanging on to each other, scared to death. And I can tell you, and there's people standing by the railing And I can tell you that had somebody fallen, it would have been really, really easy to get trampled.
Yeah, no, I get it. No,
So,
Jerry, appreciate you.
I mean, we got to have it.
Yeah, it's time. I appreciate it, and it's an illustrative story, and thanks for sharing
Get some
it.
of that money from there thrown away out the state. Rudy's exactly right.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Rudy.
All right, let's continue this when we get back, and the thoughts on is it time? And it is. It is. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Winners last night in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. They did it with defense. They looked good on offense. Dak Prescott, 21 for 30, 272 yards. Threw a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, and how about them Cowboys? They were winners in L.A. Beat the San Diego Chargers. Yes, I said it. 20-17. Like I say in there, hey, do you know they moved to, you meant LA, right? No, I know what I meant. So you can get in on that. We're having that conversation. I asked the question, do you think the facility, Lobo facilities, the stadium, is holding back Lobo football? And then if so, how much do you think? And is it time to start talking about real renovation, just bringing that thing, I don't know, into the 2000s, let alone the 2023s. The 2020s. Stadium that was built in the 60s that you all complain about. Would it help? Lobo Hobo says, did we wait too long, Jeffy, to do something about dumpy old University Stadium? 4 to 5 years ago, you could have got the job done cheap, and you could have gotten 1% to 2% construction loan. Now everything's sky high. If you can find anyone to do it, you're going to pay 8 to 9% interest on the bond money. Look, would it have been cheaper years ago? Yeah. They were in a different spot years ago. The state was in a different spot. Let me explain the difference to you, too, between, because I know this is coming. United's got to pay for their stadium, and nobody wants the public money. United is a privately owned professional soccer team. The University of New Mexico is a state institution. So asking for state money, utilizing state capital outlay to improve a facility that is a state-owned institution, a state-owned facility for a state institution, to me, is totally different. Two totally different things. If the money's available, let's have that conversation. And to Rudy's point, now you have concerts, you have more opportunity in there. And again, please understand, I'm not telling you if you build or upgrade the facility, you win automatically. The question is, JJ, do you feel that the facility, which is antiquated at this point, it doesn't suck, as someone said, but do you believe it's holding back the program? I think you agree.
College athletics isn't going anywhere. Now, college athletics has changed. People are still adapting to it, but if you're going to play college sports, if you're going to be a Division I program, then you always have to be thinking about your facilities, and you have to find ways to invest in it. Whether you are the University of New Mexico or New Mexico State, you should be having the same exact conversations, reaching out to the same exact people to improve your status, because you are always going to have the pushback of when you're not successful, people are going to say it's not worth it. But if you're asking student athletes to come to university, if you're playing Division I football, you need to invest in it. And it's a better overall product, because people are going to do that. That's not going away. I know you don't want to address it, but there's so many people that talk about that.
I think it's a very, very vocal minority. I don't know that it's so many people, but I think it's a loud.
It's more than you realize.
It might be
after the Lobos are losing, and
maybe.
But the problem is they think that this is why you have to address it. I know you don't want to, but they think it's as simple as football drops down,
basketball's better.
You save money, thus more money goes into basketball.
Yeah, that's wrong.
But that's not the case, because you're losing money.
You have less money. Less money.
Well, how is that possible? Because you're out of TV contracts, you're out of bowl revenue, you're out of college football playoff revenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the answer. So that's why I don't entertain that anymore.
But people still talk about it.
And the other one I don't entertain is, well, then drop down a level and dominate there. What makes you think you dominate if you lose? You drop down a level, and your resources drop down to that level, and somehow you're all of a sudden dominating at that level, and people are happier. I heard that on this radio station the other day, and it's not how that works. So, all right, two lines open, 505-246-0610. Josue, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Josue.
Good morning. Woo, we back, baby. We back.
How about them Cowboys?
He brings his
How
own
about
hand.
them? Man, we're world beaters again. Last year we got beat, out of the built, like we like to say. But, man, the NFL is just such a funny league. I mean, one week you're on top of it. The next week you're not. I mean, look at the 49ers. I mean, losing to the Browns. Yes, the talk is that, they had a better defense. But you know what? I just think it just comes down to winning or losing. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's by 1, 2, or 35. I mean, you have to win the game. But anyways, feeling good this week, fellas.
Good.
We back. We
Good.
back.
All right, welcome back. Right on. Good to hear you.
Hey, Hey, but real quick, on the stadium, yes, I think it is important to upgrade that thing. You know, and it's, like you said, it's not a dump. I mean, if that thing would fill up like the pit does, man, it would be a cool atmosphere because it's kind of close. There is no track around it. I mean, the crowd would feel really nice, just like the pit. Because I've been in the pit when there's not that many people. There's only maybe 8,000, and that place really loses its luster. But man, when you get to 15,000 plus, that changes the arena. So, I mean, you're right. You have to invest in that thing, and people just got to show up, man. If you like football, you may not be a Lobo fan, but if you just go, try to go, try to make it out there, and that's what's fickle about this place. You know, they're only going to show up if you're winning, and as soon as you may be on a long winning streak, and the next week you lose, and man, they're out, and that's just strange to me.
Right on.
It's called being a sports fan.
I appreciate you. I don't know that it's.
Why do you think Dan Campbell is commenting on? Wow, look at all these Lions fans that are showing up to road games all of a sudden. You're 5-1.
They're everywhere. Winning helps. And again, I'm not telling you.
It's not an indictment on this place. That's every sports fan base.
Yeah, and the Colorado State hadn't won just because they built a new building. San Diego State hasn't been winning anymore because they built a new building. But you know what they both are? They're both been in the consideration in the conversation when it came to conference expansion, right? And probably still are. Ray, good morning. Hi, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
I coach high school football, and I tell you what, with these kids, even coming out of high school going into college, when they see a nice stadium, they know it. They want to play there. You know what I mean? And that's the way we went. We went to Artesia, and you should see the kids' eyes.
Right.
How they popped up and say, God, look at this high school stadium. It compares to some of the small colleges, you know what I mean? How beautiful it is and everything else. But that has a big thing in recruiting. There's no one can say anything different. When they see a nice place, a big stadium, they want to go there. And that's what I think. These young kids, that's what they see, you know what I mean? And that's what would help. I think you get a new stadium, and we're long overdue.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Look, I don't know what the details are, right? What would I do? What would you do? I don't know what $100 million does, 125, 150. And I don't know where it's coming from, although I have some ideas. But, yeah, you guys talk about it. You guys talk about the access points. You talk about the accessibility. You talk about the gentleman just called about the clogged concourse. Okay. Can it be addressed? I'm not an architect on it, but I've been to enough stadiums and watched how they've improved them. And I've been going to them right now. I've been running this bowl game. This will be 18 years. So over the 18 years, I've traveled around, not just in this league, but in other leagues. But I've been to almost every stadium in this league. And watched the improvements over the years, watched what they've done. There's a reason they built a new one in San Diego and Colorado State, San Diego State. The UNLV, now that was part of the deal with the city. When the city gave money towards the Raiders to Allegiant Stadium, part of the deal was UNLV plays there. By the way, what's UNLV's record this year? They're 5-1. They're pretty good. It took a couple of years. They got better players in, and all of a sudden, they feel like you've turned that program around, right? I'm not telling you add water and all of a sudden you're better. It's an element, but I do believe it's a key element. All right, when we come back, you want to go in the red zone? Got to do that today. We'll hit some of the NFL topics, big topics that DC's put together. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Celebrate Cherry Fridays with the sports animal.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView.
If you want a little Charlie Pride, you give him a little Charlie Pride. Dallas. 70s? Sounds pretty 70s. This is pretty good. All right, Cowboys win last night. They were on the road in L.A. They beat the San Diego Superchargers 20-17, and they are 4-2 going to the bye week, which leaves us at 4-2 going into the red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this angle.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys got a much-needed win last night in Los Angeles. They go into the bye week, as Jeff just said, 4-2 with some momentum on both sides of the ball. So I want you guys to choose either offense or defense and tell me what you like, dislike, and what that group needs to do to make a Super Bowl run this year for the Dallas Cowboys.
I still love their defense. I don't trust the offense, so I'll go defense. I like their defense. I think they're still good on defense. They still get to the passer, to the quarterback. They still can cover. They still are mean. They're still nasty. They gave up 7. They had a bad week against the Niners. They had a really, really bad week. Now, I don't know if I think they are elite defensively. I don't know that because they, beat the hell out of the Giants and the Jets and the Patriots makes me think that they're unbelievable. They had a bad week against the Niners who clicked. But I will take their defense. I would tell you I think they're a top 5 defense. And if you're going to ask me something that I trust, I trust their defense more than I trust their offense.
Well, what they need to make the Super Bowl is that offense.
Fair enough.
They need Dak Prescott to be aggressive downfield, to use his legs in the right situations to
That's
be the
good.
difference maker in the postseason. Because you trust Dan Quinn, you trust the defense to take that next step. It's on Mike McCarthy in the offense.
2nd and goal.
Ready, down, put.
Justin Herbert threw his 13th career interception in the fourth quarter of a one-score game last night. That's 5 more than any other quarterback in the NFL since entering the league in 2020. Herbert is currently tied with Baker Mayfield at 12th overall in PFF grading for quarterbacks this season. So compared to other starting quarterbacks in the NFL, where do you rank Herbert overall?
Herbert is in that second tier or even third tier, depending on how many players you want to put in the tiers of performance this season. The reality is he's top 7 or 8 quarterback in the league talent-wise. Performance-wise, not the case.
So he's still top 10, and he's probably still, in that next tier. He's not Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. I guess you got Hurts in there. But when you start going through the list, you're going, would I take him over him or him or him or him or him? There's not 10 dudes you take before you take him. You keep seeing the potential. You keep seeing the arm strength. I believe there's room for growth. Like, am I taking 10 other quarterbacks over him? I'm not. And I believe he's going to grow, so he's still a top 10 guy. But he's 27 and 27. He plays for a franchise that doesn't know how to win. And he's got to start figuring things out with the game on the line. He had the ball in his hands down by 3 with a chance to go do what great quarterbacks do. And he didn't. He did what Jordan Love did the other day. Same thing. They went nowhere. He's still a top 10 guy with room to grow.
3rd and goal.
Week 6 is in the books, which means the power rankings are back. The Cleveland Browns jumped 9 spots from 16th to 7th overall after a huge win versus 49ers. The 1,002 yards allowed by the Browns this season are the fewest allowed through a team's first 5 games in 52 years. Sunday's win was Cleveland's first against a team that was 5-0 or better since 1969, according to StatHead.
Since when?
1969. Yeah. So while the defense looks like one of the best in the league, there are a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball. So give us your outlook for the rest of the Cleveland Browns regular season and what it will take for them to make a run in the playoffs.
They're going to be what I told you they were at the beginning of the year. They're going to be a team that's competing for that last or one of those last 2 playoff spots. Right? If you believe that that they're not going to win the division, which, by the way, they may, and you believe it's Buffalo and Miami, and you believe it's somebody coming out of the South, and you believe it's the Chiefs, then they're going to be right there like the Chargers are and like Houston might be and whoever. There's no juggernaut in their division. They still have the Cardinals and the Broncos and the Bears on the schedule. They're going to be a team that, because of their defense, is going to be competing for a playoff spot.
If they get Deshaun Watson back healthy, they're a playoff lock. There's so many teams competing for playoff spots. This team is a playoff lock. Deshaun Watson is back in the line.
I'm not sure I'm ready to go there. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen him play that great. But that's a fair
Yeah, but if
take.
you got a defense like that,
I thought they
that'll
looked
keep
better
you in
last
games.
week than they did with Deshaun Watson in the lineup.
they didn't. PJ Walker goes through 2 interceptions.
He did.
2 big plays.
But Deshaun Watson throws interceptions too.
He has 2 on the season.
Okay, and PJ Walker has 2. Well, he played one game.
So if they get Deshaun Watson back, a confident level
He's
rises.
very dismissive of my points. Did you see that? No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they are. All right.
I'm just it's red zone statement.
Yeah.
It's a team that if you look in, are you going to look at the offense like Zach Wilson and the Jets, Deshaun Watson and the Browns? I'll take my chances with them being the team that
Yeah.
gets it done versus the Jets.
I'm not as sold. That's all. Yeah.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
The Lions, who are 13-3 in their past 16 games, have won 4 consecutive games by 14 or more points, which is their longest such streak since 1969. The offense is leading the way, but the run defense is second in the NFL right now, allowing just 3.3 yards per carry. This week, Detroit jumped to number 3 in the power rankings above the Eagles, Chiefs, and Bills. So tell me why the Lions are or are not the 3rd best team in the NFL.
In the moment when you're going off power rankings, I'm with it. But overall, I think San Francisco, Philadelphia, Kansas City would still be teams that I would take ahead of Detroit. And I know that Detroit beat Kansas City, but that's why they are where they are in a power rankings. But if you're asking me the question moving forward, I don't think they're a top 3 NFL team.
So they're top 5 for sure, and they could be top 3. Okay, they could be. I trust the Niners defense, the Eagles, and the Chiefs more than I do. Well, they beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They did. And so there's no arguing that. If you ask me who do I think is better one game tomorrow, I think it's the Chiefs. I trust them a little bit more. But let me just tell you, I'm not convicted in my argument telling you that they're not a top 3 team. I'm not convicted in what you're asking me to do. I'll trust some other teams more, but I haven't seen them make a lot of mistakes this year. They are a top 5 team, and they might be a top 3.
When I saw that at number 3, I had the same thought. Like, in the moment, that actually does seem legit. I can make arguments for a lot of other teams, but the Lions, man, they are living up to the hype.
Tell me what they don't do well. What did they not do well? Like, they lost a game, right? Yeah. They lost to the Seahawks, who was a good team, came in. They scored 31 points that week. They've given up 21 to the Chiefs, 6 to the Falcons, 20 to the Packers. They got a late one. 24 to the Panthers, and 6 to the Buccaneers. Their defense is way better than anybody wants to believe. Their quarterback is playing insanely consistently. They've got 3 running backs. Granted, half of them are hurt. They just got a receiver back. Amon-Ra's good. Reynolds is good. Jameson Williamson is good. Their rookie tight end is terrific. The line has been protecting. The defense has been getting at the quarterback. They've been defending on the backside. What don't they do well? What don't you trust about the Lions?
There's not something I don't trust. Like, I look at Detroit, and while do I think their defense is as good as San Francisco? No, but I could say, well, they have a better offense than San Francisco. If you want to tell me if making the choice, like Jared Goff was much to lean on as Brock Purdy, more.
Right now, Goff is the number 1 PFF rated quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know that their offense is good. I don't know that I would take when McCaffrey and Debo are healthy, and they're not. But when they're healthy, boy, that's an explosive offense. And it's comparable. I give you that. I think they are comparable. That's what I'm saying, man. What don't they do? What don't they have? What don't you trust about the Lions other than, well, they're the Lions and they're never any good, right?
Yeah, I guess its lack of history is probably...
No, honestly, because you're so used to saying the Lions are horrible. Because, and I'll tell you the other piece is, it's kind of the Brock Purdy thing. So people are a little bit loath to give Brock Purdy his due because of where he was drafted, right? He was the last guy in the draft. Well, Jared Goff was the first guy in the draft. Yeah, but he was a throw-in. The Rams had to pay the Lions to take him, right? The Rams had to say, yeah, take him and our number 1 so we could have your quarterback. He was a throw-in, stopgap, bridge, whatever the term you want to throw on Jared Goff, and people are still reluctant to realize that he's playing at the level at which he is playing because the Rams gave up on him. I totally think it's perception. It's the Brock Purdy thing. They're not giving him his credit because he's Mr. Irrelevant. They're not giving Jared Goff the credit because, well, he was supposed to be throwing. He can't be what I'm watching every single week now for a year and a half. Oh, and they're the Lions. They can't be that good. I think that's where a lot of the perception is. You guys think I'm way off on this?
Not at all. Like, in the moment, like, I don't care what you did last year, this or that, if we're having the conversation of right now.
Yeah.
Like, you could make the case you're going 3 NFC teams before you get to an AFC team.
The Chiefs are good, man. I don't know that I'm picking all 3 teams over the Chiefs. If you ask me right now who wins, Chiefs or Eagles, I'd really struggle. Chiefs or Lions, I know that the Lions won by a point. Chiefs still have that dude. And I know that their offense isn't clicking, But I get the feeling with the Chiefs, like I did with the old school Lakers, that they're going to flip a switch. When you're going to say, Jeff, they don't have Tyreek Hill. And you're right.
What did they do last year?
They won the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And they didn't have Tyreek Hill.
And they didn't have Tyreek Hill. But I told you before last season started that to count them out, because everybody, they're going to go down. No, just because they lose that guy.
Mahomes is that deep.
Yeah. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
I think you guys give Mahomes too much love. I think part of that is Kelsey. We have seen when Kelsey is not there, Mahomes is pretty much just like the other quarterbacks. That was the Detroit game, right? That was the other night a little bit. They struggled a little bit on Thursday against the Broncos. I think it's a combination of both. It's a little bit of Draymond and Steph. They need those guys. They need each other. It's not just Mahomes. I really believe Kelsey's a big part of that offense.
Well, sure it is. But and I do give him a lot of credit because I do think he's that good, and I think he's made a lot of different receivers that good. We can differ on that. But I will argue if you take away,
he hasn't this year, Jeff. He has not this year. That receiving core is not good.
Yeah, and that's why I keep saying
elevated them. So,
but they win. But they win. That's why I keep saying they're going to flip the switch. Take away anybody's best receiver, and they're probably a little bit not as good, right? I mean, I don't know. Stafford lost Cooper Kupp, and he found Puka Nacua. That's fair.
Well, he made that one kid pretty good. I mean, that one kid, the
Puka
one kid
Nacua.
from,
Yeah. All right, no, it's a good call.
He's been pretty good. So, no, really quick. I still think the Cowboys are right there. I feel like we're going to sweep the Eagles this year. I see Jalen Hurts. He's not the same. I think he leads the NFL in interceptions. He's just not the same. I think we're seeing the real Jalen Hurts. So let's just pump the brakes. Let's go week to week, and let's see what happens.
All right. Jalen Hurts has 7 interceptions. He is tied with Mac Jones for the interception lead. Look.
So happens in 3 against the Jets.
Yeah. If we give Mahomes a little too much love, I'll listen to that. But it's a guy who's won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3 in his first 7 years in the league. And if it's all about his tight end,
so you can only be a good quarterback if you have no players to throw to,
like Tom Brady, right? I don't know.
Like if you were selecting,
and
say, all right, Jeff, you get to start a franchise. We need you to select a quarterback. Every quarterback is available.
Yeah, I'm taking him.
Who's your pick?
No, I'm taking him. And because Marty's not, I'm good with that. But take away, well, all right, look at Brock Purdy the other day. Debo and McCaffrey went down. Did it affect him? Kind of did, didn't it?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes looks a little bit different without his BFF on the field.
Yeah.
But the throws, the athleticism,
I think he looks
still the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he's been a little lazy this year. I think there's the Jets game on prime time, and there's been some times where he's made some throws where it's like heat checks, right? It's almost like a shooter who's hot, just taking a jack from the logo, right? Where let me see if I can do this one. Well, I'll take him, but I'm listening. If we give him too much love, is he overrated? Is Mahomes overrated? Because that's kind of what Marty said, right? He lost Tyreek Hill. He was still pretty good. He won the Super Bowl, didn't he?
He's still 6th in yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 68% completion percentage.
I mean, those numbers are still pretty good. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Is Mahomes overrated? Maybe you think your neighborhood's safe from crime, then a break-in happens right nearby, way too close to home. Call IPS before you become a victim. I did, because there were some break-ins in the neighborhood and I want to protect my family. International Protective Service patrols my home. Every day they come by the house. Every day. If I go out of town, I let them know they come by more. They do exterior checks, pick up newspapers, packages, roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. Whatever it is you need. If you can't watch your home or business 24/7, let IPS be another set of eyes for you. They provide standing guards or 24-hour patrols with highly trained, armed officers who respond quickly to your alarm. It's another layer of security, and it gives you peace of mind. It is affordable, private security. Call them at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. You can visit them online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
How did this conversation start? Raiden Herbert? Is that what it was? All right. I think Marty's in the minority, but I'll respect his opinion. I mean, well, he didn't say Mahomes is overrated. He said you guys give him too much love, which I think is relatively synonymous, right? I don't know. Does Patrick Mahomes get too much love? Is it all about Travis Kelce? Kelsey's amazing the way he gets open, by the way. It is amazing watching every game. You know it's going 87, and 87's wide open. It is amazing. And that's a lot of Andy Reid. Would he be as good if he was with the Carolina Panthers? No, probably wouldn't. And Bryce Young would be better if he was with the Chiefs. Right? Yes, situations matter. You don't think so? Situations matter.
Not right now.
Well, maybe. I think he would be.
Adam Thielen's pretty fantastic.
He's been really good.
Bryce Young this year.
It's been a hell of a resurgence. Ken, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Ken.
Hey, good morning. So you were talking quickly about, receivers. So Tom Brady, Edelman helped Tom Brady a whole lot.
Sure.
That's not why I called. I had to wait till I parked. I was driving, didn't want to call earlier, about this whole idea of facilities being the key to recruiting new and perhaps a better football team. I think that really, you're underestimating the smarts of high school players looking to go to college. What we have here, our real challenge is that we don't win games, and it's really been, as I've watched it over the past couple of years, poor coaching, really poor coaching. The facilities, yeah, sure, that's like looking at bling. Ultimately, though, are they going to be playing for a team that has a chance to win and perhaps go on to the next level? And the bottom line, if you're playing for UNM, your chances of going on to the next level are slim, although we did have someone from last year's team.
Jarek Reed's playing.
He's on,
yep.
Jarek Reed's now on Seattle.
That's right.
But overall, our players get a good education and they get a degree and they go out. But to think that, if we build a new stadium, all these players are going to be dying to come down to Albuquerque and play is just wrong.
Ken, Ken, I was very, very clear when I said, I'm not telling you add water and they will win. I never said that. What I said is, do you feel the facility's holding the program back? Is it time for a facility? So you're good. The facility that was built and if you are, that's cool. The facility that was built in the 60s has had very few upgrades. You don't think it needs to be upgraded substantially?
Look at Wrigley Park, Wrigley Field.
Look at all they've done to it.
Look at these other great fields that are old.
Yeah.
They get minor upgrades, but that field's over 100 years old. Has it been holding back the Cubs? No.
They can pay players.
That's apples to oranges, Ken. They can pay players millions. They've done a lot of upgrades. They put in, and I was just at Fenway this summer. They put in all kinds of premium seating. They've upgraded the fan experience. They've done a lot of things. Yes, the facility is the same, on the same lot, and looks the same. But I think that's apples to oranges. I think that would be more so the pit in reality.
Okay, so then let's take a look at the other thing. I don't think it's the facilities. Okay. Bottom line, and it's as a taxpayer, as a citizen, I don't think that there's value to doing it.
Okay.
If we started winning, if we start getting a winning CV, more than 1 or 2 games a year, we start having a better than 50% seasons, then I could say, well, maybe we will be getting better players. Maybe we can get better players coming here, and maybe if we increase the fan experience, people will go. I go to the games now, other than the NMSU game, the seats are really empty, and it's not because, nobody wants to sit on benches. It's because the experience of watching UNM lose becomes just heartbreaking week after week.
Fair enough.
Season after season.
I appreciate you, Ken. I appreciate you taking the time to call. Thank you for that. So I told you that's the other side of it, and that's why I asked. Ken and I I'll respectfully agree to disagree. I think the stadium, after 60 years of very few improvements, does need an upgrade. But he says no, not until they win, and this is going to be the chicken and the egg thing, right? He doesn't believe that. He said it's bling, right? He doesn't believe it'll help recruiting. I believe it'll help the entirety of the program, and that's the reason that programs all over America. So, are they all wasting their money? The programs. Let's pick a program that's upgrading their stadium. It's San Jose State that hasn't won to the level that many want. Did they waste their money by improving their stadium? Did
people are going to say that if you don't win?
Okay,
you're wasting your money.
Yeah,
but if you're playing whatever game it is at a certain level, then you should be working to have things comparable to your opponents at that level. And we know it's not going to be a brand new football stadium, but upgrades like that weight room was huge because it's for all student athletes. Yeah, you see it right there in a football stadium. It's things like that. An opponent's locker room would actually be a game changer for this university. Things on the concourse for the fans. Yeah. You do sit there looking down, and when it is, you get a New Mexico State game, or when you do get a little pop, you have, what is that, like 6 feet?
It's not a lot.
That people are trying to walk through?
Yeah, it's not
like, there are things you have to address.
Text line, for the record, Wyoming has an older stadium built in the 50s, 1950, but the Cowboys also win, for perspective. They do. Let me tell you what they've done. That building, when you watch a game, that building on the left that you've seen go up in the last 4 years, is a state-of-the-art locker room, weight room, hospitality facility. Their football offices, their training facilities are housed in that. But that brand new, it's beautiful in there, right? They also have an indoor. They also, on the far side, when you look up, so when you watch a game on TV, they've got a press box, and that's their next project, is they're redoing the press box. They built on the top of the stadium there what they call the Wildcatter Club. And it is a club level with suites, and it's premium seating. So they have upgraded, and then I walk the concourse underneath. They've got upgraded. Now, it's not state-of-the-art. It's not like going to one of these new stadiums, but the whole concessions experience is better than it was when I walked it, 15 years ago. So you're right, Wyoming has an older stadium, but they put money into it and have upgraded both with that brand new facility, that whole building, the weight room, the locker rooms, the training facilities, and then with the Wildcatter Club and what they've done around the outside for the experience. This one says, same number, USC's facilities are not the same level with other Pac-12 schools. How are Notre Dame's facilities? I've never been to Notre Dame Stadium. But I know the Coliseum, the Coliseum continues to upgrade. You're right, it's 100 years old. Hell, they're going to host the Olympics at the Coliseum here. So all that money that they keep putting into upgrading that and modernizing it and making it better. I don't love going to the Rose Bowl. I'll be honest with you. Rose Bowl's cramped. It's iconic because it's the Rose Bowl, but it was built 100 years ago, and getting around it's not easy. Okay? But there's a reason everybody's doing it, is my point. And I'm not telling you to do it just because they're doing it, but I'm telling you that there's a reason it's happening. And every time these conversations come up about whatever, bowl games or conference alignment, facility is a part of the conversation. I'm not by any means suggesting build it and you all automatically win. Hi, Sherman. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Good morning. You and I had this conversation 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it's not just facilities. It's not just this, and it's not just that. It's everything combined. It is like a race car engine. All 8 cylinders have to be in perfect or near perfect working condition, and that's when you win.
Yeah, it's commitment.
Yeah, it's part of the formula. If you say, well, we have to do all this other stuff first, not going to happen that way.
Appreciate you. No, you're right. You're right.
You have to do it simultaneously. Yes.
Yeah. It's a commitment all the way around. Yeah. No, I appreciate you, Sherman. Thanks.
Appreciate your program. Thanks.
Thank you. Ken says, I agree with Ken. Jeff, across the street, we have an amazing facility. We lead the country in PCL attendance year after year, yet they haven't been over 510 years. It's not even close to the same thing. What are we doing with
these comparisons?
It's not even close to the same thing. That's a grape to a watermelon. It's just not even close. Build it regardless. I'll hit you with this one after we hit this final break, and I'll wrap it up for you. Everything you got to know going into your day, and build it regardless if they come. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night and Monday night, and even Thursday Night Football.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. 5 sports were added.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life.
In my opinion, do you believe the facility is holding back UNM football? And I've got to make it clear every time I say it. I am by no means suggesting that build a new stadium or drastically update the current stadium, you get an automatic winner. That's not what it doesn't turn it around. Okay. I asked, do you believe it's holding the program back? I do. Okay. And just by being at different facilities and watching, and it's on a broader scale, I do believe it's holding it back, and I've given you the reasons. I appreciate the other side of the coin on this, and Ken, I appreciate. I can't wrap my head around comparing this place to Wrigley Field or Fenway Park. The tradition there, and I was at Fenway this weekend. It's not the same stadium it was 100 years ago. It looks the same. It's got the same left field wall. But do you know how many upgrades they've made to that place? Millions of dollars. Whether it was seating, expanding concourses, facilities, premium seating. Like we sat in the, and I'm not telling you this to say, look what we did, but I mean, we sat in something called the Dell Technology Club, DC. The Dell Technology Club is a club level. It didn't exist all those years ago. So to compare it to Wrigley Field, I think is unfair. The millions of dollars, and by the way, they have put millions into that, into Fenway Park. I don't know, has Wrigley Field, the Cubs won a lot lately? They've basically been losing for 100 years, right?
I mean, and they've added a lot to that stadium.
Of course they have.
Yeah, the bleachers, the whole bleacher setup.
Of course they did. No, even lights. No, they're putting money into it all the time. Dodger Stadium is 60 years old, but they've done so much to it. Upgrades. Here, you enclose the north end zone, I think put in a new scoreboard at some point, and put in the weight room.
You know, it's funny. The caller said that, you know, players don't care about that. And I can't wrap my mind around it. You know, these kids, they're doing social media videos in those weight rooms. They want to look cool. They want to look hip or whatever. Like, there's a lot of value in that when other guys and girls are seeing that and like, hey, I want to be there.
Of course. And that's why there's been a facilities race for the last 2 decades. Yeah. Build it regardless if they come, says this email. Bass, guitar, riff appreciators of the OD and the AM. Facilities matter. Period. Full stop. Just like buildings and facilities of other departments on campus are upgraded and or newly built over time, so should the football stadium. If said university wants to have a chemistry program, they need to make sure chemistry facilities are up to date and capable of supporting the demands of modern chemistry departments. Same with the stadium. If a university decides to have a football program, they should commit to making sure the football facilities are modern and up to date to accommodate the modern student athlete and fan. This is going to sound crazy to some fans, but the team's record shouldn't matter at all. The key metric is the university's commitment to having football. If you are committed, then keep your facility up to date. Just like the number of chemistry researchers and or world-class chemists come out of a university's chemistry department doesn't impact the need to keep an up-to-date facilities. UNM and the state legislators need to have some courage and show some backbone and tell the vocal minority that don't want to spend a dime on having updated facilities is a part of having football. Are tax dollars going to be spent? Absolutely. Stop being so afraid of actually doing business and existing in the year 2023. Still living the dream, Grady in Santa Fe. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, do you think that's a fair comparison? Other facilities, other amenities on campus, you're keeping up to date?
Grady has a really good point there. If you're committed to football, the record shouldn't really actually matter that much. And comparing it to a chemistry program, it's very interesting because, yeah, it doesn't matter how many top-of-line chemists come out. If you're not able to actually teach the material or perform the experiments that you need to do to become a chemist, then what's the point of even having it?
Yeah, and I know the audience keeps turning over, so I'm going to continue to emphasize this. I'm not telling you that it is the only problem or the biggest problem, or if you upgrade the stadium, you're going to start winning. The conversation started, do you feel, and I've had this conversation a lot in the last few weeks, do you feel the facility is holding the program back? David is on the other side of this. He says facilities are a small percentage of what's holding the program back. The facilities aren't that bad other than the stadium itself. The player facilities are actually pretty good. The much bigger issues / problems holding the program back begins with coaching / athlete quality and depth. Not telling you this is a one fix issue. I mean, if you say, okay, they got to address the coaching, that's fine. Okay. But if you feel that the facility is an issue, then you've got to have a plan to address that as well too. That's all I'm saying here is, and please, like Ken said, you're saying the biggest issue is, and if you fix it, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is an issue. And again, why do you think from North Texas to Notre Dame, they upgrade facilities?
That's a part of playing the game. Facilities are part of the game for student athletes and fans.
It's just part of doing business at that level. And I know it's hard for us because, nobody wants to spend money and they're not. Look, it's hard when you're not winning. I totally understand that. It's a hard conversation to hear. Why would we do this when? And this is a chicken or the egg thing, right?
Yeah, we're focused on football facilities because you want to see, if you're a student athlete, if you're a fan that does go constantly, you'd like to see better things for you as a fan, as a student athlete. You'd like to see those things increase, the weight rooms, the locker rooms that you have. But it's also it's a trickle over effect, like putting new lights at University Stadium. You know what that meant? They got new lights at the soccer field, and they had to put it on both sides. Took a little bit of a push, but they got it done. And it's the same thing. You invest in other facilities, then not only other teams and opponents coming in, use said facilities. Those things matter when you're talking about building the profile of your program. If you want to keep talking about Oregon State or Washington State are moving forward,
100%,
and you want to play with those,
you see Oregon State Stadium? You see what they've done there with Reser Stadium?
Yeah, stayed across it 2 years ago. Yeah. And you want to be like, oh, you should join our conference, look at this, and then they're going to look and say, wait, we have to travel here to play a game?
Yeah.
And this is our locker room?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's part of the conversation.
I promise you it's part of the conversation. All right, what do you got going today? What are people going to be talking about? They're going to be talking about the Cowboys' victory over the Chargers, 20-17 last night, in which Dak Prescott threw a touchdown and ran for one. Chargers are 4-2 going to the bye week. People are going to be talking about the Rangers beating the Astros last night, take a 2-0 lead in the American League Championship Series. Phillies over the Diamondbacks, 5-3. Phillies up 1-0 in the National League Championship Series over Arizona. You get Phillies and Diamondbacks game 2 today, 6:07 is first pitch. You get Conference USA under the lights and Fun Belt tonight. What is it? Tuesday night lights. Middle Tennessee Liberty, Western Kentucky Jacksonville State. If a little Fun Belt's more your thing, Southern Miss and South Alabama. So you get yourself a whole bunch of footy today, and to go through your day. All right, good conversation. Look, I this isn't one of those where I'm coming out and screaming that this has to be done. Do I believe it's something that should be done, and I'm glad that there is a plan moving forward on this. Yeah, and again, please don't go and say, well, he said if they upgrade the stadium, all of a sudden they're going to win.
You didn't say that?
That was never what I said. I didn't say that's the fix-all. I said it puts you on an even playing field in regards to the facilities race, and there's a reason there's been a facilities race. That's all. How are things when you hear something was built on campus or in a program? It's always how much it costs. Well, it's our $30 million weight room, all right? Everything. Oh, we did a $60 million upgrade. Oh, here's our $120 million. Everything's in terms of money. It's all about commitment. All right, Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is after that. 2 Men On will be here at 4 o'clock. You guys want to come back and do award-winning radio tomorrow starting at 7 a.m.?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm into that as well. Adrian, great work. It looks good on the TV side. DC, always great work. Thank you. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. And then we'll smell you tomorrow.
And you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.